And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today we're talking about Passing Shot, which is a dice game. A few dice in a box, and it's a tennis dice game. Well, tennis is one of those games that I'm very, very bad at in real life, as I found out to my detriment a long time ago. But it's a fascinating one, and one that I'm surprised hasn't had more board and card games made about it. So let's take a look at this dice game and see if it's any good. Passing Shot is basically just a bunch of dice, although it does also come with a box. On the box is the scoring that you can use in the back. You use these little translucent tokens, and then they fall off the box after you play with it for a while, and then you get really annoyed. So you just stop using it there. But here we have dice. Now, here's the deal with this game. It's supposed to simulate a tennis match. Now, the numbers on there, each die has different things on it. There's 3 tennis balls per die, which show a 1, 2, and a 3. The numbers barely matter in the game, but there is something that they come into matter. There's the net, and then there's out, showing the ball hitting outside. And then there's a wild, to be whatever you want it to be. However, in the basic game, I simply roll the dice, and I say, okay, I rolled 2 tennis balls. Is that more than the number of nets? Yes. Is it more than the number of outs? Yes. Good. I got a point. Actually, I don't get a point. I pass it to my opponent. If I had rolled more outs or more nets, then I would have failed and given my opponent the point. So he rolls, and the wilds don't count in this game, and he rolled 1 ball and 2 outs. So he did not roll more than I did. Haha. I get the point. Woo! So that's the basic game. It's so terrible, I should never mention it again. Now, once you get past that, the rules say if you can handle it. Well, if you can't handle it, I mean, okay, anyway. After that, you can add in all kinds of rules. The game comes with multiple rules. The numbers on the balls are the different courts. So when you roll, so you can say at the beginning, we're going to play on a certain kind of court, clay or, whatever court. And whatever court you're playing on, if you roll the number that matches that court, it counts as a point, rather than, and all the other balls count as half a point, so you're better off rolling those. You can also charge the net, and then nets count for points, but you have to say that before you roll the dice. If you roll and you fail, you can take away a die permanently to re-roll. You also can play a rule that gives you a point that lets you once per game re-roll. And so some of these things offer you some minor choices in how you can roll, but it basically comes down to just rolling and hoping you roll really well. You can use these wilds in the advanced game for different things, sometimes to re-roll a die or to bring a die back that you use for stamina. So I cannot lie, there is some choices there. And you just keep going back and forth, following the normal tennis rules, which I won't explain here, mostly because I'm a little scared that I'll say them incorrectly, and I've always thought the tennis scoring system was stupid. So that's basically it. Let's get to my opinion. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say that this is not a very good game. I like the idea. I like the dice. The quality is good. But the simple fact remains that the basic game is just, it's crazy idiotic because you're just rolling dice and see who rolls better. There's nothing. You're just rolling dice to see who can roll better. I mean, how's that tennis? Okay, so then the advanced game, in which there's all these rules, and it would have been really nice if there had been a sheet that said boom, 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 these are the things. And they have this really long play example. But when it all comes down to it, it's just as random. I can say, okay, well, I'm going to take 1 die away and re-roll the dice. Well, but big deal. If you don't take the die away, you're going to lose the point. Who wants to lose the point? You can say, well, later on you'll have all the dice to roll with. No, it's just... There's even in the advanced expert using all the different things, and you can say, well, this time I'm going to try for a net ball. Okay, all that means is that you're rolling something different. The only kind of option here that you have that really changes anything are those wild dice that let you re-roll another dice or something. But even then, it's just so obvious what to do all the time. I never felt like there was any skill at all. And at the same time, it didn't really feel much like tennis either. Which side of the court am I shooting at? What am I going to do here? No, just I'm trying to hit the ball good. by rolling some dice. So, I don't know. I can't really recommend it. I didn't find it very enjoyable at all. It was, I mean, I like randomness in games, but I don't want the game to be overwhelmed with randomness, so that's all that it is. So, passing shot, a pile of randomness.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.